if Jesse was coaching us through this competition, do you think we would be sitting in the semifinal right now, or if just had a better performance overall during our time in this tournament? I know it's highly speculative, but
yeah, because it's easy to say now. Anybody could have done better because we didn't do well. We didn't play well. We didn't play as well. We didn't execute. Look at the first game against Bolivia. Start off strong, Christian with that absolute golazo off the short corner. And then we get a late goal from Balogun in the first half. Ricardo Pepi comes in, misses 3 easy chances for him normally that you bury. So it went from starting off strong to, hey, Bolivia, they're not good anyways. We should have beat them 5-0. And we come away 2-0, but you're saying, hey, we got 3 points. We got the win. It's a clean sheet, especially from Matt Turner, who had been struggling, especially in the Colombia game, gets the draw against Brazil, and it felt like a win for him to build back his confidence. So clean sheet to start. But his distribution was very poor. And so you're not running away from that. And the Panama game, for me, the tone, and I would be hammering, and we don't know the conversations in the locker room before the game, but hammering, Panama are going to be extra physical with you today. They're trying to get you to react. They want you to put yourself in a bad position, getting 2 yellows, getting a red card, doing anything to level the score. Too. That's what they want. Yes, they talked about the referee before, and they knew that going in. But I would emphasize the player reaction. Forget about the referee. Panama are going to try to make this game even by getting you to react or get a red card, foul, anything out of the ordinary. They're going to try to do whatever they can to gain an advantage. Do not react. I would hammer that every minute before pregame, and during the game, I'd be yelling, keep your cool, focus. And so from that standpoint, yeah, I guess Jesse Marsch, if he came in, would have at least tried to get them to stay focused in that part of the game, but more attacking. And yeah, you're a little bit reckless, but you have more quality than Panama. You have more quality in Bolivia. And then Uruguay would have been like what we saw, maybe not as organized as Greg had them against Uruguay, but both teams are going to be doing it. So both teams are going to get opportunities. And would you bet on Balogun if he doesn't get injured to finish off a couple or two? It seemed like he was coming into form, but he too was so wasteful and had some poor touches. So yeah,
let's take the Uruguay game out of it. Jesse's in charge. How do you think those 2 games go for us against Bolivia and Panama? Do you think?
I mean, we created enough chances to win 5-0 with Greg. So
similar, something similar.
It would have been very
the Panama
similar.
game is
the Panama game. Who knows? Because we got a red card.
Makes a mistake. Yep. For me, I'm actually leaving Tim Weah out of this conversation. We just didn't manage the game well, and that's a part, to your point, Tones, where we haven't evolved since the 2022 World Cup. We got asked questions by the Dutch in the round of 16.
Oh, hold on. I gotta address a comment. I just got triggered.
Oh, we triggered him. It's 50 minutes.
MG here. Charlie's saying that he would have predicted Weah's red card. Laughing LMAO. Hindsight 2020. MG, I played the game. I played against Panama. So yes, I would have known that that's what they're trying to do. When you play teams that don't have as much quality as you do, that's what they do. They dive. They embellish. They hit you and try and talk trash and do whatever they can to get you to react, to throw an elbow, to kick. So that's what happened. So yeah, I could have easily predicted that. And I would have been on top of them, not only the coaches, but the players. It's on the players to keep reminding them, hey, this guy is trying to get under your skin. Don't snap.
Listen. What the irony in all of this, Chuck,
I
is
was
that
triggered like hell there.
We know that you know that the comments are going to try to trigger you, and yet you're trying to tell people. Listen, the comments are like Panama right now, Chuck, and you're taking the bait every single time.
Take a red card, right. Charlie. Right there.
You're like Tim Weah right now. We're going to give a red card to Chuck for getting triggered by MG.
Okay, man, I got triggered. MG, respect. You got me good.
Jimmy, it's so hard. Like the hypothetical, it's so hard. Like, would Jesse do better here? Would Klopp do better here? You just never know, man. Until that's why I keep hearing about all these big names. I don't care if the guy is a big name. I really don't, Jim. I care if he's the right guy to lead this team. Is he the guy that gets the dressing room
But how does U.S. soccer determine that, Chuck or Tony? How does that?
We have to go in with like, okay, so Jurgen Klopp, he is kind of everyone's favorite, right? At least it seems that way on social media.
He would tick a lot of boxes. Yeah,
he would, and I certainly, as a fan, I would be excited.
What box doesn't he check?
Yeah, no, I get it. I guess the only
international experience,
international experience.
Okay.
But you know what? Jurgen Klopp's been in enough Champions Leagues that I think Jurgen Klopp would be able to figure it out with no doubt. But how do you know, like, he's the right guy? I mean, we're never going to know. You have to you're basically making your best guess after you interview X, Y, and Z. And I hope we interview more than 3 people.
There's no guarantees. There's no guarantees.
But you're right. There's no Harvey Bernard is the other guy that keeps coming up, right? And I think he's still coaching, right now.
He's coaching the French women's national team.
Yeah, and I think we'll be done right after the Olympics or whatever it is. So
yeah,
but we just don't know. I just don't want to be married to the big name. Look, Jose Mourinho is a big name, but is he the guy that you know what I mean? So it's not about the name for me. It's about the guy that will get this locker room, and the one thing they need to understand is the coach is the boss. I feel like right now, the coach is not the boss.
Would you take a Matarazzo? Would you take a Patrick Vieira? Would you take a Thierry Henry?
Yeah, but if they think I would take any of those guys. Yeah, like any of them. As long as they're the guy that we know is going to demand that, look, I'm the boss. Like, I don't need a leadership committee, Jimmy. I really don't. You tell me we have a leadership committee. We keep hearing about it. I've never been on a team with a leadership committee. What the hell do we need a leadership committee for? What does it do? Tell me what it does. It empowers the players. But what decisions do you make? What do you say? I want to go.
Dress code.
Who cares? I'm going to tell you.
Team dinners, dress code.
I'm going to tell you when we eat. Go ahead. Give me another one.
I'll tell you this. If Thierry Henry wins a gold with this France team, for me, he's got to be one of the top candidates right now.
I'm with you 100%. Do you think Thierry
Henry, he's got to be one or two in terms of candidates?
I agree with you.
Given his knowledge of the game, given how he's playing MLS, he knows all the American players, proving that he can coach and win in a major competition. Although the Olympics is not the World Cup, but he's coached internationally now. I would feel extremely confident.
Would he take the job, Chuck?
I think he would.
Yeah.
If it's the right offer, I think he takes the job.
Okay, well, let's leave money aside. Would he want the job? You know, that's
if I were in his shoes and I'm coaching the French under-23s as it is, if you win with all the expectations, think about the expectations. You're coaching an Olympics on home soil, World Cup on home soil. The expectations, you can't get all the players you want, but you make do and you win gold. Why wouldn't you take the next step up, coaching a full men's team on a World Cup that's on American soil and a country that he loves? I mean, he has a place in New York City for a reason. He played in MLS. For me, he works on an American network on CBS for Champions League. It's a no-brainer.
Chuck is TT's big. Are you his publicist, Chuck? Because I feel like
I'm actually trying to be on his staff, so that's why I'm.
Oh my God, my heads would blow. I mean, call it what you want. It's like the breeding ground for coaches of national teams. That would be amazing. All right,
Jimmy, so you're saying there's a chance, Jimmy.
For me and you, there's you. Listen,
we're looking for high school jobs right now. That's where we're at right now.
Right? Well, listen. If JJ Redick can go from a podcast to coaching the Lakers, then anything's possible.
Hey, I heard Tony. I heard your name's being circled around all these job vacancies.
Yeah. Okay. Well, they didn't get into my circle just yet, but I'll wait for it. I'll wait from the bus through.
Well, you need Chuck as your hype man, apparently.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so
seriously, real quick. Sorry,
hey,
Jimmy.
Go ahead.
San Jose got to put a call into you right now.
Really quick. What were the qualities you wanted as a coach? Like when you had your coach, you wanted him to have a plan, right? You wanted him to be able to put trainings together that dictated how you were going to play. You wanted
is this national team or club? Because national team and club are two different things.
Okay, let's talk national team because this is the conversation, right? And you wanted to know the opponent, and then you always wanted that person to be honest with you, right? And not bullshit you. Okay, Jim, you're doing great. Then every Saturday or every trip you come in, you never play, right?
You're not in the squad.
Am I doing that great? Like, And those guys, the best coaches you had, they told you everything. They told you when you needed to eat. They told you when you needed to train. They told you when to get on the bus. They told you when to go to sleep. Like, right or wrong, this is what they all did. Like, this is why I don't get. That's the guy we need for this, especially if you have a young national team.
Right. I would say, given my experience with the national team, I had a coach that, I'll say Bruce Arena was very good at doing what you're saying. Right. Hey, this is what's all happening. And what I loved about Bruce is that when it was time to concentrate and focus, he demanded that at the highest level possible. So when it was time to train, you're training your ass off and you're getting after it. And we're trying to build towards something. But then when it was time to relax, he wanted you to also relax your ass off, like just relax. Don't think about the game. And I loved that balance that he had and he could find. And I thought he was a fantastic man manager. But then when we transitioned to Bob Bradley, Bob was a little bit more structured, and at times we had curfews in place, and I struggled with that because it became so structured and a little bit different than Bruce, where I felt like I was being treated like I was a U14 player as opposed to a grown-ass man with a wife and kid at home. And I always thought, if people can't understand the responsibility of playing for the national team or understand how huge of an opportunity this is to represent your country, then they shouldn't be here anyway. And if they, and until they learn that, and if they're going to play themselves or break curfew or break the rules or whatever, the obvious rules that don't even need to be said, then they're out. I don't care how talented they are. And so I always had a little bit of a tough time.
That. I learned the hard way.
No, I know. I was there, dude. It's like, I can't even, the emotional process of all that, dude. You were awesome, Chuck, and I'm so sad all that happened to you, buddy. But
no, I mean, it's a learning experience, and obviously you have to grow from that, become better. And I had to kind of recreate who I am in a way, because you're forced to look at life differently. But in a way, I try and be the voice for the players currently and the players coming up, that you can't take it for granted, even in the mindset of, oh, I'm not playing this game, so those rules don't apply to me. It always applies to you. And that's the thing. We want this U.S. men's national team to do well. We're in this business because we love the game, and we're trying to be honest as we possibly can in this media landscape, which I think we're all trying to do it a little bit different than it's been in the past. But ultimately, we want to be talking positively about this U.S. men's national team. We don't want to be sitting here saying they need to change the coach. The guys aren't giving it all. There's no focus. The tactics are wrong. The ideas are wrong. Or where are the creative players? We don't want to be doing that, but we got to keep it real. So ultimately, with this group, we think that a new coach will get the most out of them because they're going to be held accountable. They're going to be changing the way that, maybe there's just hearing a new voice with new ideas can do wonders. We see it all the time in the club football world. So I think that's what we're all asking for. Yeah.
And I look forward to this announcement that's going to be happening midweek. I'm putting air quotes around midweek because I don't know exactly what day that is. But again, we're going to have an emergency podcast to talk about whatever is said by U.S. Soccer, Matt Crocker in particular.